Deputy Governor of Edo State Comrade Philip Shaibu and Chairman of the Nigerian Football Federation NFF Reconciliation Committee don call on members of all Nigerian Football Players Union ANFPU and the Professional Footballers Association of Nigeria PFAN to make them bury their differences so that dem go fit join body to run and move the union for the country. The 5-man Players Union Reconciliation Committee, wey NFF board inaugurate to chook eye for the palava between the All Nigerian Football Players Union (ANFPU) and the Professional Footballers Association of Nigeria (PFAN), don dey meet for Benin since Wednesday evening, and dem go round off the meeting on Friday with press briefing. Edo State Deputy Governor Shaibu wey tok to members of ANFPU and PFAN for Government House con tell dem say make dem join body so dat dem go fit face the katakata wey retired and active footballers dey face. Shaibu con still tok say dem need to join body sake of the future of their young upcoming players and say na only when dem dey together dem go fit produce NFL presido when the time come.
We want to reconcile ourselves as players and as Players Union. We've had a series of meetings over time since this committee was inaugurated. At the beginning, some of us felt that it should have been our own initiative to just have ourselves, talk to ourselves and get things done. But along the line, we discovered that when two or three has disagreement, somebody can always come to say, look, why can't we just get this thing sorted out? So from that perspective, some of us agree that, okay, we are former players also. So since there's none of us that have been approached that is an outsider, let us accept and see it as a time to actually reconcile ourselves. So in line with that, we are accepted to be members of this committee to reconcile ourselves as players and to have a union that will take care of all of us. I made some calls to other players that are not here, and some are members of both sides. Some are not even sure whether they are members at all, but But I made some calls to almost everybody to seek their opinion on what we should do. And interestingly, everybody is interested in us having a more united body that will cater for all of us. And when I mean all of us, the word on the line, all. And the all is not just people like a Gawa that is the only retired player. Well, he's not tired. And so it's not for only him or some of us that actually retired but are tired. But for the present players, those that are active in playing now, it's for them too, because the challenge of not having a very formidable, strong union is enormous and is killing the fabrics of players in Nigeria, both retired and those in active play. Those in active play are even of more concern to me and should be to all of us, because we are supposed to deal with those issues that offend us when we were playing, to make sure that these young ones do not suffer the same fate. So you and I have that challenge to make sure that we deal with that. Some people say in Edo State, because there is a governor that lacks football sports, there is a deputy governor that was ex-footballer. That's why things, sporting activities, sport facilities are top-notch. Yeah, because I told chairman and member of the commission, each time I go to inspect the stadium, especially when they were doing the turf, I was particular about rolling the field, the pitch. And each time they are fixing, I'm telling them, I hope there is no pothole. Everything is smooth. Why? Because I remember if you are playing this, you are playing very well, you want to be in the final. And in the semi-final, you just put your leg somewhere and you have ankle injuries because the pitch is not good. And because at the time you are playing, your consciousness is how to play the ball. You are not conscious that of how the surface is. So before you know, your dream of playing the final is shattered because of bad pitch. So I am conscious of one or two finals I will have played that I had to have ankle because of bad pitch. So now I'm responsible to fixing it. So I'm conscious of that past. I don't want other players to suffer that fate, you know? I don't want them to suffer that fate. Their dream finals, they are not able to see it. They are, even when they see it, they are seeing it from the stand. They are not even on the bench. They are with spectators watching a final that they should have been playing. You know, so that consciousness is there. And so that is why I said the union has that responsibility to make sure those things that we were angry about, we should deal with it to make sure that the younger ones that are coming will not suffer the same fate. There are some of us that went to slave contracts. There are some of us that the way we left Nigeria was not palatable. There are some of us, there are a lot of things we were not happy with. It is our time now to make sure these younger ones do not suffer that. So it's not just for us. For us, there are some of us that our names were all in the media. We played very well. Some of us were lucky even when we played very well. Only a few people recognize our name. Now we are retired. How come nobody remember that we are not doing well or we are doing well? How come we are sick? We have to know that one of us is sick only through the media. These are all our responsibility as players' union leadership. We must have a union that has both the retired and the active people data. We must have a union that will take up responsibility of filing cases and paying the bills of players that have been either molested or the contract they have been cheated from one contract or the other. We should slavery contract, slave contract. We should be able to deal with it, and that is why we are a union. That is why we are players' union to take care of welfare and be responsible to our needs. So it's not just about unionism. It's not just about we being leaders, but it's the task of leadership. What we are supposed to be doing, what we are losing for not being united for close to 20, 30 years. What has happened? What the danger of what we have done, not being united to the game and to our players is enormous. Now the ladies, some of them have been molested. We started female football. We hear stories of even coaches molesting these girls. We hear some quack managers that doesn't exist, don't even know how to kick football, destroying these young girls, these young boys, sending them abroad in the name of football, whereas it's more of trafficking. They get there, they just go 3 months contract, and after the 3 months, they are discarded with. These people cannot return back to Nigeria. Before you know, they start doing taxi driving or putting drug, and their career just come to an end like that. It's our responsibility to deal with this. It's our own responsibility. So if we are not dealing with this, we are failing. We, the ex-internationals, we, the ex-players, we are failing. We are failing already. We are not giving back. God has given us that talent. Not Nigeria. God gave us that talent. And we made name for Nigeria in the course of the talent God has given us. Now, what are we giving back to these younger ones? So the starting point is the unity of all of us. Let's bury whatever differences we have. Let's bury it for the sake of some of us that are retired are no longer strong and they need help, and for the future of our young, upcoming players. You can see when we don't have a strong management. Players Union can fill the gap. And also, Players Union, how come we are not active in the politics of NFF? Because we are divided. How come the last election we didn't have voting right? Because we are divided. Who say one of us today cannot be the next NFF president if we are united? We are actually the gold of rebuilding and the heart and the hope of football in Nigeria. But because I don't know whether it's the devil just planted a seed of division to make sure we don't see, we don't agree, and that make us now to be second fiddle where we are supposed to be number one. We are supposed to be the heart. We are supposed to be everything about football. So, gentlemen and ladies, please and please, I am begging us for the sake of some of us that are no longer, that are weak, as not as strong as we are needing help, for the sake of these young girls and boys, please and please, let us be united. Let us come together for their sake and actually give them the leadership that they deserve. Beyond the leadership we are doing, look, you can imagine what we are losing from the international body. Just imagine the amount of money we are losing. When you calculate it, it's into millions of dollars beyond what we are also can generate within ourselves. God has blessed some of us beyond what we expect as funding. Some of us also can contribute financially and time to whatever project we want to do that will better the lot of both the retired and the active. So I want to appeal to all of us.
Shaibu Constitute say the Obaseki-led administration don't give sport life for Edo State with the way them they develop sporting facilities for the state to take catch young talent. Say that now why Edo State fit host the 20th National Sports Festival for 2020.
Benin has always been that destination that who is who as far as sport is concerned will have passed through, either through playing or coaching. So, and we as a state government, we are keeping sports alive again in Edo after a very long time. And we have done that by rebuilding the then Ogwe Stadium, now Samuel Ogumilya Stadium. I'm sure some of you that came early yesterday, you will have seen how we have transformed the stadium. And that is not just the facility. That environment hosts up to 15 sports. So that one you saw yesterday is just football. Behind it, we have the swimming pool and other sporting facility. And that's why we're able to host the 20th National Sports Festival. The whole place is rebuilt. And going out of the stadium, we also have 20 mini stadiums that is feeding the stadium across 18 local government. Most of them are almost completed, and with some within the Benin metropole, 4 already are ready, feeding the stadium, feeding the main stadium, like the Western Boys School of Nursing, and 4 of them already are feeding. All these stadiums are all grassed. They are all natural grass. Apart from those ones, we are building in those part of Edo Central and part of Edo North that will be artificial turf because of the weather conditions. So these are some of the things, and we have also now make sports a major part of study in our primary and secondary school. So every Wednesday now, there is sports activities, which also is part of their continuous assessment in schools, just to bring sports alive in a day. And the brand new commission, which is headed by an Olympian, very selfish Olympian, that set a record, and up to now nobody is breaking the record. So that's why I call it selfish Olympian. Yusuf Ali is chairman of the commission, and Sabina Chikere is permanent secretary of the commission. And Dr. Tando, we brought him from Lagos. He's former chairman of Lagos State Sports Commission as a consultant to the commission. And you know your veteran, Frankie Laboya, a member of the commission representing Edo North Senatorial District in the commission. And so we've been able to bring our first 11 to head the commissions because of what we want to do with sports in Edo State. The National Sport Festival, 20th National Sport Festival was what we used to launch Edo back to sport. And that's why we target Return of the Native, because Edo State and Benin is the home of sport. And when I say so, people like Edema Fuludu that we claim as Edo people, even when it claimed Delta, we be shaking their head and smiling. And Clement Emile will be patting him to say, but it is true.
Talk person for PFAN, Edema Fuludu, can talk say, the union don't get hope and future for Niger players. It can still talk say.
Your Excellency, sir, you talked about development. You said we are the hope and the heart for future building of the Nigerian player and the system itself. Kind words from you. But before I go into what I need to say, I want to also give you a superlative applause for Bendel Insurance. The unbeaten run people. As dynamic as the game is, it shows that for you to achieve objectives in an organization, leadership is key. Once you have quality leadership, you can achieve your objectives. You are a round peg in a round hole. I can even make it square peg in a square hole. Thank you very much, sir. You said something about safeguarding. When you were talking about protecting players, that is safeguarding. That is what we must also teach our coaches over time. Safeguarding sports in schools where we can protect the athletes from molestation. Not just about contracts, physical molestation. We must begin to do that one. And these are things the union must put into perspective when we do anything we're going to do. So today we are here not to talk about past events, not to talk about personal issues, not to talk about quarrels that are, one-on-one, but about collective responsibility to move Nigerian football forward. We are key players. Like you said, we should be in the front burner, but we shouldn't get relegated over nothing. When the press leaves here eventually, we would have been able to say that, according to Abraham Lincoln, what we are looking for is on the other side of fear. And we dare say the truth with a lot of courage. And most people want to say the false things, wrong things out of fear. But those who stand to speak the truth, we always speak the truth as constant as a northern star. And those who want to receive this truth with sane mind, without emotions, we know that we have an objective, and that objective will be achieved today. I know that if we begin to talk concerning individual issues, we won't live here in the next hours. I want to be very brief to say that in this opening remark, that my brothers and sisters, Victoria, over the years. Okay. She's jealous. My heartthrob, the General, Abdul Sule, Larry Kubenji, founder, member of all the unions mixed up together. Mixed up together. It's in the base, it's in the baseline. So I crave your indulgence, sir. I know you are a very busy person, that we discuss these issues amicably as friends, and then we have a common ground to move forward. Thank you very much for this.
Presido All Nigerian Football Players Union ANFPU Abdul Sule talk say the palava between players and ex-players don't take for ground and dem no see any strong union wey fit help dem settle am. Say that na why dem never fit come together since then, but dem dey get hope say this committee go do their best.
I hope this meeting will take us to another history. Yes, we spoke about players, current players and ex-players. It's a big issue in Nigeria today. There are so many problems going around. I've had so many calls from players on transfer, on contacts, and I think I've spoke with Sabina 1 or 2 times representing the players. It has been a big problem, and all of us, we know about this. Fuludu and some of the guys here, we are all friends, just like you said. We stay in the same hotel, we talk, we discuss, we call on phone, but it's unfortunate that today, despite all this thing we're doing, we cannot come as one together to make this thing move. Like His Excellency said, is it the devil or something? But I think today, wherever the devil is, yeah. So it really bothers us, but sometimes we have nothing to do. More than 3 decades, this thing has been happening, and nobody to put it to a stop. But today, we have made history for even starting this meeting here today. And I pray it will go well. Yes, we have so many issues of ex-players. Some of us are fortunate, some of us are not. We have some that are sick, and we have to go around looking for money. And we have a lot of money laying down there with our people members. But we cannot go there and take it because the house is divided. Well, I think the Reconciliation Committee are here, and it's your job to do the best, and we are ready for whatever you want us to do as far as something that will benefit this country.
Some members of the committee na Emmanuel Kala, Dr. Felix Owolabi Akinloye, Garba Lawan, with Abdurrafi Yusuf as the secretary. From Government House, Benin City, A. Carter, Ojay Soli, TMC TV News.